Alright guys, what's going on? So check out this crazy kangaroo court situation. A while back, well-known activist Andrew Sheets, he was written up for a whole bunch of local municipal infractions as it relates to some sort of ordinance that was passed in Punta Gorda where they basically outlawed free speech. They outlawed being able to put offensive words on political signs, political demonstrations. They said that that was not a legal thing to do. Well, anyway, they wrote him up like a whole bunch of citations for that. And I know it's crazy. They actually did that. So they wrote him up for all these citations. And how it works in Florida is it has to start on some local judicial level. Like some local appointed body has to adjudicate the case before it can go to an actual real court. So what you're about to see is the footage. This is an actual judicial proceeding. None of these people are judges. These people are not even lawyers or anything like that. The people who rule on the case. So it's literally a kangaroo court. That's legitimately what it is. And obviously, because it's that, they do not rule in his favor, and he appeals it. It goes to actual court, and guess what? He wins. Free speech comes out as the victor in this whole situation. But the footage that you're about to see is from that local kangaroo court situation where they ruled against him. They tried to take away that free speech, and they tried to tell him that, yes, your political protests cannot contain offensive words, cuss words, things of that nature. So with that, guys, check out this situation out of Punta Gorda, Florida, involving Andrew Sheets, activist.
This is my statement for all the cases. My name is Andrew Sheets. I have been a reporter for Charlotte County Cop Watch for 9 years. I have over 200 million views online and over 200,000 subscribers online.
Man, just slow down a little bit so that I can understand what you're saying.
Right. You want me to repeat it?
No, but just
Right.
right. don't read so fast.
All right. And I fight government corruption and the police corruption every single day. Just like they investigate us every single day, I try to investigate them every single day. And in doing that, I make record requests and go into the government offices and record video of my interaction with the people fulfilling the record request and expose the corruption. And because of this activity, the city of Punta Gorda made an illegal law 2 years ago making it illegal to record a public official in their public place doing their public duty. They have trespassed me from everywhere. They have literally forced me into the streets to let people know of the corruption in Punta Gorda. Now the city's attempted to censor my protest speech by banning words and phrases it considers indecent. But these words express my depth of my anger and frustration with the government, and I believe it is my duty as a citizen to confront this attempt to take away our freedom of speech. Yes, I use strong words, but that is because of how bad the corruption is and how strongly I oppose the city's attempt to deprive us of our constitutional rights. I would rather use the First Amendment instead of the Second. It is not my fault I am in the street. It's your fault. You trespassed me from everywhere. And now you have made it illegal for me to protest in the street. When and where will this end? We have the right to free speech and press, and you are violating it. It's in the Constitution, and you are knowingly violating it. I was also mentioned he wanted me to explain what my shirt was. Fuck policing for profit. It is not about sex, not even close. It is about the police literally policing for profit. Our founding fathers freed our country to be free, and now everything is illegal, and the cops are enforcing victimless crimes. We have 6 stories at the courthouse because everything's illegal. I find that appalling, and so would our founding fathers.
Mr. Sheets?
Yes.
May I ask you a question? Do you think that those words are offensive to children?
I would object to that question unless we use the whole statement under indecent. They don't just have to be offensive. The words also have to depict or describe sexual or excretory activities of organs in a manner that is offensive. If we're gonna ask him that question, I would object to it being parsed in piece that reflects a total misapplication or misunderstanding of this definition. So I would object that would be questioned in that form.
If I might, and I'll let the board attorney chime in, I don't know, since you are sitting in a quasi judicial capacity, I don't think that it's appropriate for a lawyer to object to a question that's raised by the judges in an administrative panel. But I also make the argument that asking about individual portions of the definition was what the council did with respect to our witness, and probably is fair game.
I would agree. Mr. Sheets, could you answer that question from?
No, I do not. It's called the First Amendment. It's free speech. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes, sir. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you.
So just want to reiterate that you don't think that those words are offensive to children?
It's called free speech, the
Thank you.
First Amendment.
I have no other questions.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Weiner.
Mr. Sheets, your street address, please.
I object to that. That's,
Did you hear what counsel just said? You can't object to my question. Try and pay attention to what's going on.
again, this gentleman's insulting to the attorney.
Oh, I'm not through. Believe me, I'm not through.
Oh, he can keep insulting. You're showing yourself on the record.
Mr. Weiner,
Insult
let's
with decorum.
calm down. Yes.
Mr. Sheets, I'm going to ask one last time, your street address.
Don't answer it. Privacy.
I have been informed
Okay,
not
let
to
me
answer that.
rephrase the question. You do live in Punta Gorda?
I actually live one street out of Punta Gorda in Charlotte County.
Well, Counselor's comment on page 10 was, by the fact that both parties to this case reside within Punta Gorda. So either your counselor's wrong or you're wrong. I mean, you don't know where you live, he doesn't know where you...
Just let me just interject one thing.
Well,
May I, please? I do not understand the issue as what was in the pleading and the person's address. From my point of view, if I may, in the discussion, the ordinance does not apply only or against people where they live. On its face, it's applicable to any individual. And so I do not see why the gentleman has to answer with what his address is. We're interested in his conduct, not his residence.
Okay, in monetary fashion, that is to say, dollars and cents, how much corruption goes through the city clerk's office?
Objection, that's irrelevant, Mr. Chairman.
He brought it up. Do I get to cross-examine, or is he going to keep interrupting me?
Noting the point previously made about inappropriate for counsel to object to questions, but, what is the relevance of the?
Mr. Sheets just said he was thrown out of all city buildings and forced into the street because of the corruption in Punta Gorda. I want to know how many dollars are spent on corrupt services in Punta Gorda that he got thrown out on the street.
Okay, in that context.
Counsel, what do I answer?
You know, you don't know.
I do not know.
So you just say there's corruption in city clerk's office and the police department, in public works and everything else, and let it go at that?
Actually, 9 years of evidence on Charlotte County Cop Watch Facebook page. It's not a lie, it's real.
Wait a second, I'm sorry, but I live in Punta Gorda, and what's on Charlotte County's Facebook page doesn't affect me. You made statements that there is corruption in the city clerk's office, police department, and other agencies in the city. That's why you were thrown out on the street, because
Mr. Weiner, can we focus on the ordinance itself? And this is It may be an interesting matter, but it's a superfluous matter for the board's purpose today. Are there any other questions for the respondent?
I have a question. As we've always said, the goal of this board is to provide us with a safer community that complies with all of the codes and the regulations. When we're here hearing matters such as dirty roofs or et cetera, our goal is to bring people into compliance. Could these, I understand you're looking to get a message across to the people and to educate the public to what you're trying, your points of view. Could that just as easily be accomplished without what we perceive to be indecent speech, such as stop policing for profit, or just removing the words that may be indecent to some? You don't find them indecent, but some people do. Could you not get your point across, and we could then return to just having a community where children can walk around and look at signs? Everybody could read your message then.
Just like radio and TV, don't have to look and listen.
Just a suggestion, not a comment. I mean, that's our goal here as a
Well,
community board.
May I just, to your statement, you don't have to look and listen. It's a little difficult to look, and when somebody has a sign in front of your face, where a TV, you have the option to turn it off. You don't have it with you. My other question to you is there nothing that is not protected in your view? Any language, any place, anytime?
It's, once you lose free speech, you're not free.
Counsel, I mean, you're not here to determine the constitutionality of the ordinance. I think it's been more than established why he does his protest. His personal views, the extent of his belief in free speech really has nothing on your factual determination. I wish you had just, like Mr. Levin says, let's look at that definition, and let's look at each word of the definition.
I agree with you, thank you.
Yeah, my comment was just to have a win-win so our community can just coexist peacefully.
Are there any other questions for the respondent?
Chair.
Yes, Mr. Weiner?
So if I understand what's going on, and I don't know whether you have one or not, and I'm projecting, but your 6-year-old grandson can walk around with "fuck grandpa" on his shirt, no problem. Your sit down.
Mr. Chairman.
I understand that we're getting to beyond.
Attorneys typically stand up in court as a
Yes.
show of respect to the chair. That's why I stand. I've never had a judge tell me to sit down when I stood up as a show of respect. So,
Mr. Weiner, we just temper your
yes.
conduct, please,
Yeah.
so we can get on.
What is it, how do you want me to rephrase that question, Mr.
This
Chair?
has nothing to do with the interpretation of the statute and application of the facts.
We're talking about free speech. Am I in a different room? We're talking about free speech.
We are getting a bit of field. It is, the issue is free speech, but it's speech in terms of what the ordinance is and what conduct Mr. Sheets had with it.
Again, for the sake of due process and with the deference of the hearing, let's try to tone down our emotions and,
If there's no further questions for the respondent,
I have a question for you. And then I have a closing.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, can you ask Counselor, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for reminding me of that. Mr. Sheets, you'll have to come up because I have a question for you.
Sorry.
My question is very simple, can be answered yes or no. The words you used on those placards, fuck you and other words, in your mind or in your intent or in your interpretation, do they anyway depict or describe sexual or excretory activities or organs?
no, they did not.
Thank you. And I'll have some closing.
Well, before you do, I've got a cross-examination question, please. Sheets. Forgive my language, but it's necessary in this proceeding. What does the word "fuck" mean to you?
Actually, it's almost a meaningless word nowadays. It used to mean, bad things before, but it's so.
What kind of bad things?
I don't know.
Are you not aware that the word historically and even today refers to a sexual activity?
I did not use it as a sexual activity.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you the word itself. How is that word defined in the word itself? What is the definition of the word fuck?
Actually, it's funny you say that. It's called flicken. It's from German. It means to strike. And in fact, another definition is for unlawful carnal knowledge.
Sheets,
That
would you
wasn't
answer the
my-
question, please?
Thank you.
Rather than lecturing on derivation.
Correct. What again is the question?
What does the word fuck mean?
It's just a strong word when you're making a strong statement.
And you have no appreciation that it describes a sexual activity?
No, nope.
Yeah. What's the word cunt mean to you?
Another strong word which is used everywhere now, including tons of movies and TV shows.
Not-
It's
Mr.
almost
Sheets,
meaningless.
What does it mean to you, not where it's used?
It's just a strong word when you're making a strong statement.
And you have no idea what the word defines.
It's just another strong word when you want to make a strong statement.
You've never heard that it refers to a sexual organ?
It's just another strong
No,
word.
that's
when
not
you
my
make-
question, sir. Have you never heard that the word cunt refers to a sexual organ?
Maybe a long time ago.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Is that it?
That's it.